Hey, good afternoon. I'm Raleigh Brown, and this is another curve flattening concert, number 580, if my numbers are correct. And Stephen DeHaas is here, and Pam Zappardino is checking in, and hopefully there will be others. So I will cloink to you. There comes some more. Jim Moore, my old buddy, Warren Bendler, Steve Davidson, and Dave Mason over there in Scotland. Good to see you guys here. And Rhonda Scott Merrick just checked in. She's probably she's doing homework. So you're not in your seminar today? Let us cloink. Let us come together to cloink. And in honor of good coffee and good music and good fellowship and community and compassion and kindness and this and that and the other thing. Donna Greenberg is here, and Michael Anthony Wood out there in southwest Oklahoma, and Warren Bendler. Oh, it's actually Janelle. Warren is changing a dirty diaper. One hopes that that is the diaper of Little Miss Wiggles and not an adult, but we won't go there. And Kathy Marsick is here. Steve Edelman says hi from Yarmouth, Nova Scotia. So Steve, I'm assuming you are not doing a live stream this week. And who else we got here? Carol Pratt is here, and Dwight Shoemate, who is probably right next door if his car was still there. I can't remember now. And Steve Edelman is clunking with stout. Well, I envy you that, my friend, although I do have a good porter in the fridge here. Charlotte Cantrell is here from Southern California, and Ginger Hopper, and like that. So we will get this show on the road here pretty quickly. And this one, many of you may have noticed on my page that I was mourning the loss of my old friend Al Pettaway. And we are just losing people at a ever-quickening pace. I have some other friends who are in dire straits right now, and it's just something that at our age, there comes a time when you better just get used to it and kind of come to terms with it. But and I appreciate very much when I put somebody up like Al and people write in and say, I'm so sorry for your loss. And I appreciate that, but I don't put them up there kind of for me. I put them up there to celebrate who they were, and who they still are for me, their lives and their beautiful music and this and that. And Reconciling United Methodists of Eastern Pennsylvania says, after a long time away, I'm back. What is your name, Mr. or Miss Reconciling United Methodists of Eastern Pennsylvania? Because I don't remember that one being here before. So this song goes for all of the friends we've lost. He was a friend of mine. He was a friend of mine. He never had no money to pay for his fine. He was a friend of mine. He died on the road. He died on the road. He was just a poor boy, Lord, a long ways from home. was a friend of mine. He never done no wrong. Never done no wrong. 1,000 miles from home, he never harmed no one. And he was a friend of mine. I stole away and cried. I stole away and cried. Never had no money and I can't be satisfied. He was a friend of mine. He was a friend of mine. He was a friend of mine. Lord, every time I hear his name, I just can't keep from crying. He was a friend of mine. So more folks have checked in. Good to see you all. That is a folk song as far as I know. And Reconciling United Methodist is my friend Bruce McNeil. Hi, Bruce. Hello to you and to Mariana. And Michael Tierson is here. Let me see if I'm missing anybody. I have to backpedal a little. Debbie Moore is here. Lori Payne. I think I said hi to most of the rest of you. And Mike Verbeck is here now. I've said Michael Tierson. Norman Taylor, thank you, Norman, for those kind words. And Francis Mendenhall out there in Minnesota. And Aretta and Ron are here on YouTube today. Oh, from the car on YouTube. And like that. So glad to have you all here. Amy Fierro, too. Hi, Amy. Amy was a Tai Chi student of mine. So next up is an old blues. Now once I lived the life of a millionaire. I was spending all my money and I didn't care. Taking my friends out for a mighty good time. I'd buy bootleg liquor, champagne and wine. Then I began to fall so low. I didn't have a friend, and then I had no place to go. You know, if I ever get my hands on $1 again, I'm gonna hang on to it till that eagle grins, 'cause nobody knows you when you're down and out. If in your pockets you haven't got a penny, then your friends, then you haven't any, well, let you get back on your feet again. And everyone becomes your long-lost friend. It's mighty strange, without a doubt, how nobody knows you when you're down and out. Yes, nobody knows you when you're down and out. If in your pockets you haven't got a penny, then your friends, you haven't any, but let you get back on your feet again. And everyone will become your long-lost friend. It's mighty strange, without a doubt, how nobody knows you when you're down and out. I mean, when you're down and out. Nobody knows you when you're down and out. We've all had a little of that in life, I think. So, hello to any of you who have just stopped by. Deb Levy Clark is here, I see, and is there anyone else I missed? I said hi to Francis and Debbie. I think I got you all as far as it goes. Nancy Daynard is here. And like that. Good. So announcements for today. There is a PayPal Venmo link here for the Charlie the Dog Educational Veterinary Behavioral Dog Sitting Fund. And that's always appreciated, never expected. And there are invisibles here among us. The ones I know about are Kit Serikaku and Judith Fox and my old buddy Mario Prue. I've got my Prue guitar right here. I'm going to use it in a few minutes. And Joel Biget over there in France. Those are the ones I know about. And there may be others. And for those of you who might not be familiar with this, the software I use on which I see my chat does not always get everything from Facebook. Facebook doesn't send it all of the comments. So some people are invisible to me. And if you're invisible to me, I still greet you, and I'll see your posts later when I look at the Facebook feed. So that's that part. What's coming up in Raleigh World? I will be with Magpie on October 14th as part of their 50th anniversary tour continues. We had a great time up in Schenectady the other night, and we will be down at the Barns at Wolf Trap, which is a beautiful center in Vienna, Virginia. So if you're in that D.C. area and you want to hear some great music, not saying I'm great, they're great, and then come on down, and you can buy tickets in advance, and it's numbered seating, so you'd want to get them sooner than later. And then I will be going out to Moab, Utah, with my good buddies Cozy Sheridan and Charlie Koch at the end of October for Moab Folk Camp. And you can find out about that at moabfolkcamp.com. And last I heard, there were still like maybe 5 or 6 available spaces for people to sign up for that camp. And it should be beautiful and lots of fun. I'm not looking forward to the travel, but I'm looking forward to being out there. And like that. And then the schedule. Oh, and I was going to tell you about Charlie. Charlie has been on the injured list. He's behind a chair back there. I can't even see him. He has been on the injured list because he hurt his back. And today was the first day, finally, we've been like sequestered here. Today was the first day I could take him to the park. He got to see his little girlfriend, Maxie, and I got to see Rick Williams, Maxie's steward. And he's been twice to the park today, and I think we might go one more time. I don't want to overtax him, but we're hoping he's through this little crisis and then he'll be okay without surgery or without kind of chronic problems, but we'll see. Anyhow, he's been a very good dog. We upped his Prozac about a month ago, and I think it's really kicking in. He seems to be even a little bit calmer, although he still has his triggers, and you got to watch him. But he is a very good boy, and he's not in view right now, but maybe I can just pull up a picture of him. That's what he would look like if he were in view. He's so cute. And there you go. That's that. The schedule I am on now, I'm not sure, but I think Helen Avakian and David Irwin are on tomorrow night. That would be Thursday. Friday, I don't know if Bunny was on. I seem to think she said she was on, but I didn't see any notifications on her page. And Slim Edelman is up there he's at least 2,000 miles from home, so he's not going to be on. He's out there drinking stout. And that lucky dog. And on Saturday, Warren Bendler will be on at 3 p.m. doing his Folky Fridays on Saturday. And then I will be back Sunday morning at 10:30 with another show for you. Okay? So, I think that covers all the announcements, everything I can think of right now. So next up is the instrumental for today, and this is a medley I do. And I learned this medley. I learned the first part off of a record, but I actually heard about it from Steve Mann. Steve Mann said, "Hey, do you play this tune?" And he had never worked it out. Like what he was saying to me when he taught it, when he showed it to me, was he said, "Hey, somebody ought to work this out. You could work it out, And so he had played me a few chords out of it, and I thought, whoa, those are really cool chords. It's written by a guy named Les McCann, and it's called Bojay Pubu, and you can see the spelling of that on my website. I always have to look it up because I keep forgetting. So I went online and got the Les McCann recording and figured out what it was, and then I figured out that there was a part of it that very much sounded like a quote from the tune Walking in the Air, sometimes known as The Snowman. So I said, I think we could turn these into a medley. And that's what I did. And here we go. Bojay Poo Boo and the Snowman. And thank you for those kind remarks. I'm glad if you guys like this. Johnson Hogg says that is at least the best sounding and looking guitar you have. I'm afraid, Johnson, that I have to agree with you. I love everything about this guitar, except it's not quite as easy to play as some of my other guitars. I think I need to find somebody who can do a really good setup on it. I've got, Dwight's repairman down there at George's Music might work on it for me. But it's close, it's not, it's like nobody would, kick it out of bed for eating peanuts, as the old saying would go. So it's a pretty darn good playing guitar, but it isn't quite as slick as I would like it to be, and we may have to change that in time. So anyhow, I love that tune, and I'm going to put this guitar down because my last tune is in drop D tuning, and I was going to play it on the other pre-war, but I thought, I haven't been playing the Prue very much, and Mario may actually stop in sometime, and he might like to see the Prue. I should also say Mario recently had a tragedy in that his longtime wife, Jenny Talton Prue, passed away, and she had been sick for a little while, and we were all worried about her, and it did not end well. So I send my deepest condolences to Mario, and he's a wonderful guy and an amazing luthier. Mike Stillman says, I'd like to see a CD of your jazzy stuff and hear it too. Well, there are two CDs. There's one called This Vagrant Heart, and it is all jazz standards except for about 3 tunes, one original and a couple blueses. And I sing 3 tunes on it also, but it's mostly jazz standards. And then there's the Sunday Morning CD, which has Bojay Poo Boo and the Snowman on it. And it also has a wide variety of other fingerstyle stuff, and it's all acoustic fingerstyle guitar solos. It has Tristano, and it has Angie, and it has Salvo and Ann Mintz, which used to be called Salvo e Pepe, and a bunch of my instrumentals and a bunch of homages to guitarists who I love. So that's called Sunday Morning. It has Sunday Morning on it, for that matter. And you can find that at rolleybrown.com/store.html. Or if you just want a download of it, I'm not sure if there's somewhere where you can download Sunday Morning. There might be. Try CD Baby, maybe. Mark Steele is here, but he's having a hard time hearing me, and he quotes the Dave Clark 5. He's just hearing bits and pieces. So try restarting, Mark, and that might help. Actually, just the other day, posted something on my buddy Danny Gotham's page. He had asked, what was the very first thing you played on the guitar when you started playing? And the first thing, before I could even play the guitar, before I even knew anything, knew any chords or anything, was I was sick with the flu. I was like 12 years old and had just gotten this cheap, terrible guitar. And I was feverishly laying in bed, and I was bored stiff. So I picked up this guitar, and I guess we had gotten it in tune at least, And I was listening to this Dave Clark 5 song, which is called Coming Home. And it goes, I'm in the wrong tuning here, but it goes basically, so I figured out that bass line. And that's the very first thing I ever figured out by ear on a real guitar. Previously, when I was very small, my brother and I always stayed up late nights and watched Ghoulardi and The Late Show, where they'd show the horror movies, and we were big fans of of Bela Lugosi and Boris Karloff, and the original Frankenstein, the original Dracula. Well, the original Dracula, the mood music on it is from Swan Lake, I think it's Tchaikovsky ballet, and it goes. And then it goes on from there. And I had a little plastic guitar with little pink nylon strings on it that you couldn't even tune. So I learned how to play that on one string by ear. I must have been like 8. And that was the beginning of my guitar career. I started out with the classics. So there you go. Anyhow, I'm going to do one more song for you here. We're kind of running long today. And this is a Bob Dylan song. I was thinking about Bob Dylan. My friend Rusty Leisenheimer and I were talking about Dylan earlier today, chatting. And this is my version of Tangled Up in Blue. So. Early one morning the sun was shining. I was laying in bed, wondering if she had changed at all, if her hair was still red. Her folks, they said our lives together sure was gonna be tough. They never did like Mama's homemade dress. Daddy's bank book wasn't big enough. And I was standing by the side of the road, rain pouring on my shoes, heading out for the East Coast. Lord knows I paid some dues getting through. Tangled up in blue. She was married when we first met, soon to be divorced. I helped her out of a jam, I guess, but I used a little too much force. We drove that car as far as we could, abandoned it out west. Broke up on a dark, sad night, both agreeing it was best. And she turned around to look at me. As I was walking away, I heard her say over my shoulder, we'll meet again someday on the avenue. Tangled up in blue. Now I had a job in the great Northwest, working as a cook for a spell, but I never did like it all that much. And one day the axe just fell, so I drifted down to New Orleans, lucky but to be employed, working for a while on a fishing boat just outside of Delacroix. But all the time I was alone, the past was close behind. I seen a lot of women, she never escaped my mind, and I just grew tangled up in blue. Now she was working in a topless place. I stopped in for a beer. I just kept staring at the side of her face in the spotlight so clear. And later on, when the crowd thinned out, I was just about to do the same. She was standing there beside my chair. She said, "Tell me, don't I know your name?" Well, I muttered something underneath my breath. She studied the lines in my face. I must admit I felt a little uneasy when she bent down and tied the laces of my shoe. Tangled up in blue. She lit a burner on the stove and offered me a pipe. She said, I thought you'd never say hello. She said, you looked like the silent type. And then she opened up a book of poems and handed it to me, written by an Italian poet from the 13th century. And every one of them words rang true and glowed like burning coals. They were leaping off of every page, like they were written in my soul from me to you, tangled up in blue. Well, I lived with them on Montague Street, in the basement down the stairs. There was music in the cafes at night and revolution in the air. And he started into dealing with slaves. Something inside of him died. She had to sell everything she owned and froze up inside. And then when finally the bottom fell out, I became withdrawn. The only thing I knew how to do was to keep on keeping on like a bird that flew, tangled up in blue. So now I'm headed back again. I got to get to her somehow. All those people we used to know, they're an illusion to me now. Some are mathematicians and some are carpenters' wives. I don't know how it all got started. I don't know what we did with our lives. But me, I'm still on the road, headed for another joint. You know, we always did feel the same. We just saw it from a different point of view. Tangled up in blue. Tangled Up in Blue by Bob Dylan. What a wonderful song. Just poetry. And thank you so much for joining me today. I see that Bunny Barnes just stopped in. Bunny, are you on this week or not? Tell us quickly before I sign off. And as I said, I thank you for joining me. I will play you a little mantra here. So be happy and be healthy and be brave, be calm, be kind, it's a snap, and if you get cranky, take a nap. Be well. I'll hope to see you guys on Sunday. In the meantime, go have a wonderful time. This weather is it's gonna break here. It's been really hot, but it's gonna get cool in a couple days, and it'll still be good. The hot is good, and so is the cool. So I thank you for joining me and send you all my love. Bye-bye.